So I brought in an image file just to show the spacing of this in the building, but we're going to do a window 1, type 1, which we'll use in a couple of places. We'll make a new type from it, so it's still a fixed window, but we'll do one that's 48 by 48. We'll call that type 2, and it has 3 locations in the floor plan. I've got one placed already here. Let me just delete it. And the reason I wanted to do that is to show you that you can get them from the interface, or you can get them from the browser under families. So when you go, place a window, pick a style 36 by 48, you could also just go to the family on the side and drag it in. Another way of getting content. It's the outside of the wall you should be picking, not the inside. And I'm just looking at the dimension and trying to centering it on the on that wall, so it should be equidistant both sides. We then want to create a new type from that, so if we start with that one, we can select it, 24 by 48, edit type, duplicate, tell it it's 48 by 48, that's just the name, and then adjust the width so it's 48 in the parameters. So you see it's the name was added, but I'm then and you can see the list of what's there, but I want to change the width so the parameters match the name. So the width to 4 feet. So what I've got now is a 4 foot wide window in the middle of the wall there. So I can switch it back quickly to my old one, 24 by 48, and now I've got the additional one as an option for drafting. I could drag it in and place it in the wall, or I could use the window and pick it from the list. It doesn't really matter. Just going to center it in there. And again, it should be the outside of the wall that you're picking to put this in the project. I'm going to make it equal 8 foot 9 and 8 foot 9. That's the dimension he has, 8 foot 9 from the center of the exterior wall. That you can place precisely any way you want. Change the type mark to number 2. So they just come in a sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you could call them A, B, C, D, whatever convention you want to follow to show the type of window. If I just show you, if you said create similar, what I'm doing is just dropping it into the wall in the other room and then positioning it where I want. But so outside face, or I could flip it after I've placed it, but it should be the outside that you always place a door or a window with, not the inside. If I select it, I could specify the size that I want, and I can use the technique of modifying the extension lines so that I can center it in the room. It was 7 foot 6. I'm gonna just show you another way of doing this, but editing the dimension and using the changeable witness lines is one way of doing it. Other way is to use a parametric dimension. So I'm tabbing to find the inside face of the wall, then the middle of the window, and then tabbing to find the inside face of the wall. And then one click to place the dimension string, and then hit the EQ to force that to go to the center. I can then get rid of the dimensions. I don't really need them. I'm just using them to place the window unconstrained. It's just parked in space. It doesn't remember that relationship. Second occurrence of window 1 down on the bottom left. And I'll do that equality constraint one more time just so you can see it. So I'm just going to delete the dimensions that are getting in the way there. So it would be DI to start the command, or wherever you want to get it. And a line dimension. Tab over the face of the wall that you want the dimension to go through the middle of the window. Tab to find the inside face of the wall. One more click while clear of that, and then click the EQ. Then delete the dimension, and you're good to go. Don't leave it constrained. These are just to show it was 8'9" in. I think it was 3'9" there, and that one's going to look like an odd dimension, but it's centered on the room by using the inside faces. I'm assuming that's what he's trying to do. And I'll just switch to the 3D view, and I'm just putting in the dimensions just to kind of confirm what they are. I've got the side window. Again, I'm just looking at the readout to make sure I get it centered, which is easy here because the walls are the same thickness. And then just to show you where the information on the tag is coming from, you can think of the tag as a gateway to the database that I can pick on the tag, and this is me putting it into the database for that window. Another way of doing that would be if I actually, so whatever value I put in is populated through windows of the same type. Another way of doing that would be to pick the window and say edit type, and you'll see that one of its parameters is the type mark, and whatever I put in there is what's going to be reported by the tag. And so if I went into the family, picking the type properties for that family and changing it, I'm changing all windows of the same type to give them the same type mark.